Adaps is the oldest Australian IT company. Commenced business in 1964 and it actually went public in 1969. I joined the company in 67 as a programmer and they quickly moved me into sales. That probably tells you a bit about my coding. At that time when they went public, the managing director was 29 years old and he controlled a staff of 200. He was the oldest person there. And that was just the way IT was in those days. The only people with IT skills were fresh out of university or fresh out of college. It was very, very exciting times. I worked there until 1972, so I'd done 5 years in total, and I took off on holidays to the UK, and I was very lucky to come across a company called Computer People, who had just started selling contractors. And I'd not seen that before. And I started working for them, again in sales for a start, and very quickly they decided I should be their general manager. And I took to it like a duck to water, and I grew that into the largest contract services company in Europe. And I also, over a 3-year period, set up New York. I took a team of 22 people to New York for Chase Manhattan Bank and got them going in the States as well. So they offered me a very lucrative deal to stay on as a director and part owner of the company. But Adaps had also approached me to come back to Australia, and I have to tell you I was really getting sick of those winters. So I returned to Adaps and formed a partnership with Adaps. It was called Adaps People, and it was a clone of what we'd done in Computer People. And we were just lucky. 1976, timing was perfect, and Adaps just took off. We ended up operating in every state in Australia, profitable in every state in Australia, and we outstripped the public company in terms of profitability and size by about 3 to 1. So they in turn wanted to cash in their chips. And so in 1984, the combined company, the public company and my private company, were sold to Paxis. And so the company that you see out there as Paxis People is in fact the company that I started many years ago. So I went off to do my own thing, and I'm very keen on my cars, so I got into manufacturing cars and did a whole bunch of things. Didn't make any money at it, but I had a great time. So in 1996, I was able to get the Adaps name back again. And so I went to see John Thompson because even though I had the name, I felt that as the founder of the company and my previous employer and partner, that he should decide who was actually going to use the name. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I want to get back into the contracting business, but I've got a plan to do it differently." And he said, "Tell me about it." So I said, "Well, look, one of the things that's happened is that the standards have dropped since we got out of the marketplace. So I'm going to break up the structure of the business so that I have salespeople that sell, technical people to do the assessment, because it's become far more complex now than it was back 10 years ago when I was doing it. And then I want contractor care people to look after the contractors through their journey with Adaps." He said, "Yeah, that sounds pretty good." And I said, "But the final thing is, once we've built this really quality business, I want to offer an unconditional double money back guarantee." And he said, "You really mean that? Unconditional?" I said, "If they get run over by a bus, they don't turn up for work, the client gets double their money back." And the reason I want to do that is I've been to a seminar conducted by Mike Breakspear from IBM, and he said, if we lose a person in the first 3 months, it cost IBM $100,000. And I thought, well, if I'm their recruiters, I really should have some skin in the game. So that's what it's about. So John agreed to come with me. He took a small share in the company, and we're also joined by the previous general manager who was general manager of Adaps at the age of 24, and he's also my partner with a small share in the business now. Today we are a company turning over about $75 million. We are absolutely driven by quality. We will never go public, and the reason we won't go public is that we have no interest in having people talking about return on investment. If we run a great company, it makes good money. It's not our driving force. Our driving force is absolute quality. And I'm sure my team will tell you about some of the other things that we've done with people that we've actually gone out to assist. Charitable things that we get involved in that we don't really talk about a lot. That's part of our DNA. We're in the people business and we love it. And I'd like to think that you will become a client of Adaps, and the one thing that I can guarantee you if you do will be professionalism, absolute respect from my people, and a hell of a lot of fun as well. That you can bet on.